You can visualize that six-figure bank account journal as if you are your future self. Tell yourself that I am abundant, that clients flow naturally and with ease. Even tap your way into that version of you in the future. But if your body is still stuck in a survival state, your whole nervous system is going to reject every opportunity to receive abundance, and anything that smells like you're going to handle more or potentially have some risks involved with receiving more money. Your mindset or money mindset isn't the real problem. Your body's wiring and survival patterns are. So let's break down how your nervous system actually blocks wealth and how to rewire it for real abundance that lasts. Let's talk about the neuroscience of scarcity because we need to know this first before we rewire it for abundance. Your nervous system is wired for survival, not success. Its primary job is not to make you rich, happy, abundant, and going through life easily and effortlessly. No, no. Unfortunately, its only role is to keep you safe. And this is actually very fortunate for us as well, because this is how we evolved to be here, right here and now. However, when your nervous system is stuck in survival mode, meaning the sympathetic nervous system fight or flight response, where you feel hypervigilant, anxious, and overwhelmed, in that state that your body is in, your growth will be perceived as a threat because everything is threatening to a nervous system that is in fight or flight because it's already feeling threatened. And so when you're in this state, you are going to be stuck in patterns like overanalyzing decisions into analysis paralysis. You hold on to money just in case, even though there's enough, and even though you know that just spending a little bit of money on something will help you long term. And some people also go into the other side of that spectrum where they just like they have money and they feel this impulse to spend it because having money is a danger or threat to the system. So they get rid of it because it feels unsafe, right? If you throw me something that is really hot, I'm gonna like throw it just like that right in my laptop, right? And so that's why some people compulsively spend and some people hoard because they don't want to lose it. They need it for survival, right? As if we were cavemen, we hoarded our food just in case bad weather and extreme weather were to affect the way we hunt. Same thing here. And this is usually when you also say yes to having underpaid work because you'd rather get something than nothing, even though it furthers the loop of you being in fight or flight because those are the clients who don't honor you and you feel burnt out helping them. So you say yes to anything. Meanwhile, because you feel bad saying no because you're in survival, you just want to take anything instead of actually taking a step back and valuing your work and your energy. And this is when the guilt of wanting more also shows up. When you are in this state, you really are repelling more because everything will feel like a threat. And so as your nervous system perceives more as a threat, it's going to make you think and feel things such as guilt. It's going to make you feel guilty to get more because more is dangerous. We cannot handle more, remember? So it makes you feel that flood of guilt when you just think of wanting to expand, when you want to say no to that client that your gut told you not to, right? It's going to make you feel bad because more is dangerous to your system. Your brain doesn't hate money, your body doesn't hate money. It just associates abundance as dangerous. And so you have a part of your brain that hijacks your wealth, which is your survival brain. It's found around this part of your brain in the back there where the brainstem is. And that part of your brain will hijack logical thinking under stress, which is in the prefrontal cortex here. You need this part of your brain to turn on in order for you to make calculated and abundant decisions and think through things logically and contextually and actually use your discernment. This is the front part here. But when it's the amygdala here and the other survival centers are overactive and have literally have taken over your whole system, then you lose access to that. So then you default to very safe and predictable moves, even if those moves sabotage your business. So, for example, you have been doing something in your business over and over and it worked before, but it stopped working now because it's a rapidly changing environment, especially with AI now, right? So, the people who will fail to adapt to AI because it is different and new and scary, so they perceive that as a threat, their brain gets hijacked, they'll fail to adapt, and they will lose their business long term compared to people who actually will adapt it in the long term. But you don't get access to that part of your brain if your survival brain has taken over. So this is why you know exactly what you need to do to make money. You know what actions to take. You have taken all the courses. You have probably been successful in other businesses before, but because you're stuck in survival mode, you're not doing it. This is why. It's because the survival brain is only wanting you to do the regular things, which is survive, which is breathe, which is do the habitual things that you've been doing, like sleeping or eating, not even sleeping, but just being alive without any more abundance, right? Just bare minimum. That's what it just wants you to do. And so your nervous system, your body is pausing because any moves is dangerous, right? While your brain is like saying, go, we need to go, the body's like, nah, nah, danger, danger. We are not going through well because that is how your brain is wired after not being in a abundant regulated state for a long time. And so abundance happens when that survival center part of your brain turns off, and then your body is then free to open up and it feels safe and it feels connected. This is when you no longer feel that tension, that overwhelm, that sense of urgency, or even some people in the really, really deep survival states, they want to run and hide from the world, right? They don't want to show their faces, so they're not visible, so their clients can't find them, which is why they're not making the money that they want to make. It goes in both directions, but either or, obviously, abundance doesn't happen there. And how to shift that is to bring the parasympathetic nervous system back on. This is when you are going to stop seeing money and having more as dangerous, but instead you'll start expanding and opening up to the possibility that yes, it gets to be your new reality. You get to stay in this abundant state and it becomes your new norm. This is why nervous system regulation is super duper important as business owners. And in this state, not only are you going to be open to more, your brain actually starts opening up the creative thinking, decision making, risk tolerance, and intuitive decision making processes that you need in order to sustain a business, right? Abundance isn't really just thinking positive, it is about teaching your body that growth is safe. And the key to abundance is going from the body, the bottom up. The reason why is that if you're trying to use affirmations, if you're trying to use this part of your brain, this part of your brain already has trouble turning on. It's literally at a dimmer switch at 10% sometimes. So trying to get 10% to influence this is very difficult. And that is why people can be blue in the face saying they're abundant, but they say it, but they don't actually have it in reality. This is why they're trying to use 10% when the body is actually a better vessel to create safety in those survival brains. So bottom up, using your body to influence your survival brain. When you do that, abundance hits you and the body telling the brain to be like, hey, it's okay, we are safe, then turns off the survival response down and then turns back on this critical thinking. Then affirmations have a place to sit. But order matters. The body must feel safe and abundant first before adding in the money mindset stuff. Because otherwise, it's not going to stick. You're trying to use 10% effort in a very angry survival brain. And the language between the critical thinking brain and the survival brain, very different. The survival brain responds to bodily sensations faster. And so you don't rewire abundance by just thinking things through and using your thoughts. You do it by training your nervous system to tolerate to receive more, with your body to receive more, so that it can physically hold more and no longer feels threatened with more. So this is what you need to do. You need to notice when your body starts to contract, when you have more money, when you think about money, when you're making financial decisions. What is your body doing? Every time you pull back from receiving, like for example, you get new emails, right? Like you have emails and you kind of skim through it and there's like potentially a consultation or request for your services and you like pull back, or you like really just avoid any email or message or avoid posting your social media services out there. Just notice what happens in your body. That is scarcity in motion. And once you do that, the second step is to stay with that discomfort, stay with that sensation. The goal is never to be confident right away. That is a myth. You don't get confident first. Confidence is earned. Safety must be done first before you gain confidence. And so when you stay with that discomfort and you're not judging yourself for it, then you start to train your body to be okay with receiving and to stop perceiving money and more as dangerous and start perceiving abundance as safe. And the third is repeat this over and over and over again until it starts to feel normal. Just like strength training, if you want to get stronger, you're going to progressively add more weights to your squats, right? If you want to squat more. Same thing. Abundance capacity is also built with reps, not with mantras, with body reps, shifting those survival patterns and bringing yourself back into that parasympathetic, abundant state. So if you've done all the mindset work, but your income still plateaus, your nervous system is your bottleneck. You are not mind blocked, but you are biologically and physiologically capped. Your body can't hold it anymore. And so the real currency of abundance is your body. So I have dropped resources below to help you walk through how to rewire your body at the root so you finally feel and create safety in receiving more money through the body. Check them out and I will see you around.